So I'm like describing some of the things. So I was just listening to a video. It's like about Kundalini awakening, and I mean, yeah, it's dark, I know. But like, I guess I don't really know what the different so I can't really say what. I mean, I could tell you what's happened to me, but like, I couldn't really. Yeah, there isn't really much to see. I can't really like tell you what happened, except to tell you my experience because it's been so fucking weird, like really weird. Like I didn't know what was happening to me. Like most I had no idea actually. I mean I knew something was happening. I didn't look things up. Like I wasn't trying to spoil it. I wasn't trying to like make it weird. Like put a name on it. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like I wasn't trying to label it or make it one thing or another. It just was happening, and that was good enough for me in the moment. You know, it was just happening. So that was, you know, like I said, good enough. And like I've been through a number of awakenings in my life, so I figured, you know, there's not really any point in recording this or even writing most of it down, you know, because a lot of it's very just esoteric. It's very out there and difficult to, well, not all of it. I mean, and I'm a particularly articulate person, but some of it can be hard to articulate. You know, it's hard to, I mean, experiential, you know, experiential things are, it is like by nature something you have to experience, not something you can necessarily explain. And I guess in explaining it, if other people relate to you or what you're saying, then you know you have a shared experience. But otherwise, you know, it's really just a related experience until then, you know, like unless you've been through it, you kind of, you know. Anyway, so there's this one YouTube video I was listening to. I mean, I know YouTube is usually very visual, but I am a very visual person. However, I tend to like to listen to things, and also because of technology being the way that it is and everything, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just it's overused and not used properly. So I try not to look at my screen very often. You know, like I'm just not I don't look at the screen. You know, I listen to things. I tend to find things on YouTube that I can listen to, not watch. I don't have to watch them in order to glean the information that's being related, you know, out of it. So I was listening to this video about Kundalini awakening, and it's talking about body shakes, like as in spasms. Sorry, Momo. Ow! Oh my god, your elbows are super sharp. Ow! Okay. So I had been having these wait, ouch. I've been having these I mean, for lack of a better word, it seemed, you know, because I had stopped taking I had been taking anti-anxiety medication. And you know that that is some fuckery all of it on its own. But anyway, I had been taking I had been taking anti-anxiety medication for a long time. And then I stopped, and you know, one of the side effects of that can be like spasms, like what do you call them? Seizures. Duh, God, my brain would not think of that word. So like, you know, part of me, I didn't, like I said, I didn't look things up. I wasn't trying to like spoil it, because a lot of the times awakenings, like they're just awakenings that you can't really put them into words. It doesn't really work very well, you know, like you can try, but you know, whatever. So, you know, like I said, I wasn't really trying to verbalize. And I didn't have anyone to talk to. Like, who the fuck was I going to talk to? I mean, my dog, you know, myself. I talk to myself a lot as it is. So, you know, like that. I just kind of, I don't know how to set this. I just kind of did my usual, like, wake up thing. I just did it by myself. And, like, really, I think that's probably one of the best ways. And there are things and, like, wisdom and lessons you can learn from other people, you know, and like, by listening to the experiences that they've had and things like that. So, yeah, I think there's a lot that can be gained from other human beings. I just wasn't around any, so I was doing it on my own. So, I hadn't heard about the body shakes thing until tonight. Never heard about it. Didn't know. And yeah, no, I no idea. And like, it's things like that, you know, if you don't have other human beings around you, it can be, I mean, okay, so then I listened to another video tonight, and it said that, you know, Kundalini waking or spiritual awakening, a lot of different awakenings can be dangerous, literally dangerous, like, no joke, dangerous. I completely agree with that. And I mean, I think that if I hadn't been already somewhat awake and very highly intuitive and, you know, all the things that I've been my entire life, I don't know if I would have made it. And also, like, there's a real thing, you know, spiritual psychosis. It's like not, and it's not necessarily like something you'll find in the DSM 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I don't know, have they come out with the 6th edition yet? Anyway. But, like, that shit is real. It's so real. Like, and I can see how people who have what we call mental illnesses are mistaken. And I'm not saying that there's not something correct about that diagnosis. I'm not saying that at all. And I think that there's a whole underlying issue there that's a spiritual component of all of that we don't even diagnose it at all. It's very anyway. But I'm not a doctor or anything like that, so, you know, don't listen to me on that. Yeah, no. I mean, I've been a mental health care provider as well as a patient, and, you know, it's weird. It's weird. I'm not sure. Anyway, I haven't spent that much time thinking about that, but I can see how people can fall down a whole rabbit hole of shit, like, whoa, and it's deep too, like, not even funny. And you could get lost easily. So, you know, I mean, I used to hear stories about how so-and-so did acid, or so-and-so did this, or, you know, kind of like, not people we knew, but like legends or myths kind of people, you know, like, not people that we would ever meet kind of thing. And they would say, you know, yeah, I dropped a tab of acid and he never came back. Like, he never, you know, never came back, and, like, from his trip, in other words. And I would sit there and, like, just, I mean, I would, you know, I remember the first time I heard that, and it was just like a feeling of disbelief to me. I thought, what the fuck? Like, how could you not come back from that? You know, like, what do you mean? And, like, and that seemed like, I remember, like, thinking, what a nightmare, you know, that would be, like, really, you know. But I think that, I mean, I don't know, I think there's something else going on there that, you know, that really deserves better explanation than, you know, just a tab of acid, because, like, I've done a lot of acid in my life. And people can say, you know, oh, you're crazy or whatever. And maybe most people, maybe there are some people who would think that. I don't honestly know. I don't really talk to people very much or care enough to really listen to them. But, it's not that I don't care about people. I just don't care about bullshit. So, but no, I mean, you know, some people would say, you know, you're crazy for living the way you live, or you're crazy for whatever. Fill in the blank. You know, somebody will figure it out. Somebody will find something. They always do. You know, or find something disparaging to say, especially when you're starting your channel. You know, it's like, you know, whatever. But yeah, things like that, you know, you really can't let it stop you. If you do, you know, you're gonna have a harder time with things. But like the body shakes thing, you know, like me thinking, because I think that like typically most people are taught this. If someone else were to have seen me shaking like that, like I don't think, yeah, no, I don't think I would have been nearly as comfortable in my awakening, and like how weird it was, is, probably has always been, I don't know, that like, if I didn't have the experiences that I've had with mental health, with spiritual things, religious, physical, mental, emotional, all of it, check. I don't know that I would have made it. I think I would have probably either lost my mind and, you know, fell down some rabbit hole, like the guy who did acid, or the person who saw a ghost or whatever and like never came back, kind of thing. Or like I would have, not intentionally, but maybe not intentionally, but like hurt myself, not intentionally, not like suicidal, but like fucking driven my car off a cliff or some shit, especially because I'm up here all the time. You know, I'm up in the mountains all the time, so it's like there's not a lot of margin for error up here. You know, when you make a wrong turn, it's a wrong turn that you may never come back from, kind of thing, you know? Like I had a fire in my car back at the end of, very end of May, and man, I mean, what? You know, I mean, I cannot. Yo. So, like, things like the body shakes and other things, too, that were, some of which were explained in this video that I watched tonight, or listened to tonight. And then the other one, too. And, like, I'm a veteran of Strange. I mean, I've been listening to philosophical ideas and different religious leaders and all kinds of stuff most of my life. So, it's not, you know, I've been in churches, especially Christian churches. Lots of, like, I've never seen, like, snake handlers. That's not something I've seen. I mean, I've seen snake handlers, but not in church. But, like, speaking in tongues, you know, like, all of that. You know, loud, you know, channeling the Holy Spirit left and right. Yeah, that was normal for me growing up. So, you know, I guess some of the weirder stuff, I never really felt weird. I mean, people always told me I was. People always told me I was different. Whatever. Excuse me, but at that time, excuse me. You know, at that time in my life, when I heard unique or different or whatever, it equated to alone. It equated to not having anyone to relate to it. That's what it equated to me. So I didn't want that. You know, I didn't want that to be that way. So, you know, I kept not trying like to the horrible detriment of myself to fit in, but like to some extent, yeah, I did. To some extent, I did. Like, excuse me. So, ooh, that yawn felt really good. Well, like another thing I noticed during this awakening, like I was just explaining this to myself. Like I was actually talking to God. Before I turned on the camera, it's, I was saying that it's like, part of the reason I think I mentioned acid this time when I was talking to the camera is that I was thinking about, like, what does it look like when you're going through a Kundalini awakening or a spiritual awakening? And one of the things, and I mean, there's a lot of things, like, what does it look like, feel like, smell like, taste like, you know, what is it, all of that. And, like, one of the things I would say, one of the things I was talking about was colors being more vibrant. Like, what? I mean, seriously. I'm not even kidding either. Like, there's nothing wrong with my eyes. In fact, I would say about a year ago, I was having a lot of vision trouble. Like, I have 2 pairs of glasses in my little, like, cubby that you have in your car. It's like in the console, you know? I have 2 pairs of glasses in there. I haven't put them on, not one time, in the last 6 to 8 months. Didn't need them. Don't need them. Still don't need them. Like, nope. And, like, other things. There are other things, too, that my body just spontaneously healed. I didn't pray for them. I didn't ask for them. I wasn't thinking about it. It was that my body just knew what to do. And, you know, it's funny because when I was broadcasting on Periscope, I was talking about, I think I was talking to one of my witchy friends, and she was, you know, we were talking about, something about, what was it? It was something about healing, something. And then also I was watching this particular yoga channel with an instructor named Allison, I can't remember her name. The Journey Junkie, I think that's how you can look her up on YouTube. You know, she's fantastic. I really liked her very much. I haven't watched her for a very long time, so I don't know what she's doing now. Hopefully she's still doing it, and I hope she had the baby that she wanted the whole time, too. I think she was pregnant last time I saw her on video. Yeah, anyway, but, like, she was somebody that I learned a lot from. And he was, like, somebody that I tuned into, you know, on YouTube, like, every day, you know. She was, like, you know, well, good morning. You know, it was, like, having somebody in the house kind of thing. Not in the house, but somebody to do my morning workouts with. It was really nice. I liked it very much. And usually I don't like the young kind of do, but she's really cool. I like her. I think her and her fiance were, like, sailing around the world at one point. It's, like, really cool stuff, you know. It's like I wasn't doing anything like that, but I was really happy for her. You know, it was nice to see somebody doing that. And, excuse me. I've had, like, major itchies lately, like, just tonight, actually. I mean, it's been happening on and off, but, like, my right arm was itching, like, my right forearm was itching like crazy earlier. And my nose, and, like, this part of my head, right here, like, this. Like, right where, you know, your front of your hair, like, meets your, it was not itching now. You know, it's not dandruff. Dandruff doesn't just go away. So, I don't know what, anyway. So, but, so I was saying, like, colors are more vibrant. I quit smoking, too. I quit smoking for 2 months straight. And I didn't mean to. I think I had maybe 10 cigarettes that whole time. I had 2 packs left in my car. And I remember, like, so proudly driving to the park where I was going to throw the trash from my car away, because, you know, I don't have a trash can. And giving away my last 2 packs of cigarettes and not even caring. Didn't even care. Not even a little bit. 27 years of smoking. Yeah. Like, seriously? 27 years of smoking. Gone. Just didn't even care. And then the Klonopin, too, that I had been taking for, oh shit, I don't even know. Like, probably, why does my car click like that? Like, what's the fuck? Excuse me. But what? Like, it's at odd times. Anyway, it's just like, that's a whole nother story. Fucking gang stalking, all that shit. Fucking weird. It puts you on, not on edge, but I'm not on edge. However, it does give you a different perspective on things. And, you know, when people make a concerted effort, like there was a house I lived in up north where people literally tried to kill me or get me to lose my mind. I mean, all kinds of shit. And it was all just over a piece of real estate. Like, I'm not even kidding. Not even kidding at all. COVID really, like, brought out the worst in a lot of people. Yeah. Yeah, wow. God. Wow. Yeah. Well, they lost. I mean, they got the house, but, like, you know, I would not want to be them for anything. Like, not even a little bit. No freaking way. Like, anyway, even with no traditional home and no bathroom and all that, I'd much rather be right where I am here than where they are any day. Like, yeah, no. Those people. Wow. Anyway. Sorry. No, I'm not. I'm lying. I'm totally lying. I'm not sorry. Oh my god. Okay. I will regain composure in 3, 2, 1. Alright. Alright, so. Yeah, colors are more vivid. I quit smoking for 2 months, so yeah, I could smell. I mean, I don't. And it wasn't just because I quit smoking. Although quitting smoking didn't help it. Like my nose. Like I started smelling in the spirit, you guys. Like, what the? What? That's so weird. Like, what? That's weird. Even for me, that's weird. And then, what was the other things? All kinds of, like, all kinds of visions. And definitely a voice inside my head that wasn't always there. Like, wasn't always there. I know it wasn't. And I can't figure out who this is. Like, it's a person, too. It's not a spirit. If it is, it's the most immature, like, it's not like most spirits that I've spoken to. I don't mean that as a diss. I mean that, like, it's very human. Like, it asks why and things like that. Spirit doesn't ask why. It just, I mean, not in my experience. It just doesn't, you know. Why? That's like, you know, it's very childlike. Why? You know, I constantly get asked why. I'm just like, you know, it just is. And sometimes I get like and it's a male voice. It's not a female voice. It sounds like a younger man. Maybe not. I mean, I don't know. But sometimes I've gotten like really specific instructions or like advice or something on, I'm not sure, on what to do about things. And like I've heard it, like not with my ears, but I hear it inside my head so clearly, as clearly as I'm speaking right now. No difference. Like it wasn't scary or weird. It was weird. It wasn't scary and I haven't ever heard that voice say anything to me that would be harmful or mean. I don't think so. It's difficult to separate. Sometimes it's difficult to separate the inner dialogue from that voice from the voice of God. Because, I mean, I hear the voice of God very clearly too. But it's not the same. It's not audio. Like, I don't hear it inside my head. I don't hear things with my ears. That's not how that works. I hear it inside my head. And that's the visions too. Although sometimes they are so vivid, it's kind of creepy. Like, how vivid it is. Especially when I'm seeing things that are not, like, of the light, so to speak. It makes you wonder if there really are demons, and I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, if those things that we call demons, like, are, you know, or even angels or whatever, have, like, real life manifestations, you know? Like, something you could actually see and touch and feel, you know? And, like, I mean, I've had encounters with things I do not know what they are. I've seen things, not with my eyes, but with my mind's eye. I knew they were there. I couldn't prove it. I knew they were there. I mean, like, most of my life, like I said, I'm a veteran of strange, so, like, most of my life has been one weird thing or another, or, like, 10 all at once. And, you know, with all my family dead, it's, she's dreaming. My dog, she's sleeping in the back seat. But, like, you know, when you have that many people on the other side, it's not that you were close to, that, like, none of them I wasn't close to, and really close to at one point or another in my life, or multiple times. Which, you know, means obviously we're soulmates, you know, because that follows. Souls travel in packs, kind of like dogs or wolves. They just do. And we tend to travel together. I mean, that's how humans do it. That's a lot of the human behavior that I see, and not, I mean the more positive human behavior, not the so much negative stuff, although I see that too. That's how souls, like social behavior, I should say. God, that's kind of disturbing. I hope that souls don't act like human. Oh, God. You know what I mean? Anyway, so, but I remember when my mother died, was like when, that was when, I mean, I'd always been a very awake person, even as a child. Very old soul, too. Both, like, awake and old. And, like, I felt old when I was 5 and 6 years old. I remember feeling old. I mean, I couldn't, like, again, I couldn't prove it. But, like, I knew what it was like to feel old. Like, you know. Even then I knew. And, you know, a lot of my life has been, like, this kind of droning on feeling like, oh my God, this again. And that's what it feels like. Oh my God, this again. Yeah. And, you know, like, just recently, I had my beliefs in God challenged again. And, like, I mean really challenged, not just, like, somebody saying some, you know, dumb something or other, uneducated, you know, because, you know, people can't make me question anything, question my faith. And it's not like that. It doesn't work like that. And circumstances don't make me. There are things that I realize within myself that make me question things. And frankly, I just take it to God. Like, that's how simple that is for me. I really just, whatever. It's not something I sit and dwell on and think about and, you know, wring my hands over and, you know, all of that. No, it's not worth it. Nothing is worth my peace of mind. Even if God didn't exist, there was something that the Dalai Lama said that I really admired, because very few people say this, regardless of their beliefs. But he was asked a question, what would you do if you were presented with unfailing proof that your beliefs were wrong? And he paused and he said, well, then I would have to reevaluate my beliefs. It was something like that. It was to that effect. Like, you know, I'd have to change what I believed. I'd have to re-examine it. I'd have to, you know, go over and reassess it. And I really admire that because, you know, I think that any mystic, any oracle, any psychic, any channel, any medium, any of those things, let alone if you're all of them. Hi. Yeah. So, but like all of those things, it can be daunting in the sense that you don't want to be wrong. You want to have certainty. You want to be sure. You want to be able to guide others and not deceive them, because you can unknowingly deceive people. I mean, it's not like you're trying to, you're not meaning to, but they get deceived all the same. And then there are some things that are just so, you know, so subjective and so experiential for human beings that you cannot tell that person. You can tell them what it feels like and what it's like all you want, but you cannot what is that word? You cannot imprint upon them what you experience. You cannot imprint upon them their own experience. You cannot give that to them. All you can give them is your experience and you know, the description of such, and hopefully, you know, channel enough energy through that it, you know, it brings about something close to the frequency that you were on, you know, something like that. And, you know, I mean, so there's certainly something happening when, you know, when we decalcify our pineal gland and get in touch with the Christ consciousness, and all of these things are important things that that almost always precipitate an awakening. And like that could explain the richness and color, the like the pervasive smells, the intensity of emotions, and because I mean everything is experienced through your mind. Even though we're experiencing things physically, it's still made possible by your brain. If you didn't have a brain, we wouldn't feel anything, you know. So, you know, that's important. I mean, humans, if humans didn't have a brain, because we need that, that's how we operate. So, you know, maybe other things with brains can do, I don't know, anyway, I'm not even going to do that. But, so, yeah. Let's see if my candle went out completely. But, I think that it's, you know, when I have thought about putting out there what I experienced and all of that, I mean, I always did really well with public speaking and basically relating to others in general. So, you know, I'm not sure that it would be very difficult for me at all. But at the same time, there have been times when, you know, I've had other questions about myself and my inability to be effective or efficient, even, no, not efficient, but effective in my communication of the waking up experience for other people. And like, once again, you know, I cannot imprint upon you your experience. I cannot give that to you. I can simply tell you about mine, and, you know, hoping in doing so that it's something that you resonate with, it's something that you relate to, and hopefully, you know, that somehow wakes people up. Because really, like, if you could wake one person up, if everybody could do that, I mean, hopefully themselves first and foremost. But since, you know, since a lot of people they don't seem to be able to even wake themselves up, you know, maybe we could be like alarm clocks, you know, that's what, excuse me, part of what light workers do is wake other people up, wake, you know, their fellow light workers up. So maybe in doing so, you know, we're kind of like alarm clocks, you know. But no, there's a lot to be gained from it. I think that waking up, you know, no matter what level you're waking up to or waking up from or any of that, there's so much to look forward to, and it's really beautiful. It's so beautiful in so many ways, and you just can't, there's just nothing like it. It's like being in love, like the best kind of love you ever felt, and it's not with anyone, like yourself maybe, but like it's not narcissistic like that, it's not any of that, it's not necessarily so empathic either, it just is, it's just, you know, it just is. Like, again, you know, you can't imprint that experience upon anyone. It's still, it's a difficult thing to articulate sometimes, because it's just not really words for it. You can describe it and say how you felt and feel and how it looks, how it looked, you know, all those things. Well, at the end of the day, like, really, it's something that people have to go through in order to experience for themselves. So, you know, like that. But the 34 on the clock just now. So, but those body shakes, and, you know, one thing I didn't say about the body shakes earlier in the video was that they were all on my chakras, like, you know, the the 7 or 8 major ones that, right through the center of your body. But I had other ones that were like, my hands, my fingers were doing like, and I was just like, what is this? Walk like an Egyptian? Or what is this? Like, I did not know what that was. Not even a little bit. No idea. I know now. I didn't know at the time. No, I had no idea. Like, and I constantly sit in yoga poses now. I mean, I kind of always have. I can't say I always have, but most of the time, yeah. It's just more comfortable for me. At least I'm sitting cross-legged, like that kind of thing. But it's been weird, no doubt. All kinds of visions. What else? I wouldn't say I heard things, but I know things. I just know them. I don't know how I know, but I know. I just say things sometimes too. And I wouldn't like to suggest that you just know everything because you think you do. Yeah, no, that's called a trap. Yeah, don't fall into that. Or that you can do something just because you read a book on it or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, no. Yes, our minds are powerful, but like, yeah, no, don't go there. It's more, I wouldn't say there's more to it than that. It's just deeper than that. Like, I mean, I see some people on YouTube and they're saying like, manifest the dragon within, and after a couple, it's weird. It's weird. It's like, what are you doing? Like, what do you, I cannot, when people say it's as simple as thinking about it, I'm like, I know what they're saying, I get it, and yes, to some extent or other, they're right, but they're not right. That's not all there is. It's kind of an ineffable, how would I describe that? There's a certain, like, high, I would say, I'm not even kidding either, to what I'm experiencing, and I mean it, like feeling lightheaded most of the time. And no, I don't use any drugs. I don't take any prescription medication. Fuck, most of the time I'm fasting most of the day. So yeah, no, I don't even have the influence of food. And then like I'll go a couple days without smoking too. So no, it's not that either. Don't know. I mean, at first I thought, well, maybe I'm just high on oxygen because oxygen does get you high. And when people, I've heard people talk about like runner's high, and I've experienced that myself. But like, what's with anyway? Why do I feel high like all the time? Don't know. And like some of the things I've experienced, I have no idea. I did see one of my exes not too long ago, and he told me that he saw this like predator type thing. And I totally know what he's talking about, although the way he describes it is kind of weird. And also the predator is like fucking terrifying, right? Like what? With his armor on? That's what he's talking about, like the prism armor effect. And the funny thing is that I saw something like that, only it was months ago. But it was on my birthday, and I had eaten quite a bit of mushrooms. It's the one thing I will do. I'm not into doing anything else but like mushrooms and pot. I'll do pot. I'll smoke pot. Eat it, do whatever. But like, and but nothing else. And he said that he had seen this predator-looking thing, only it was like, and he was totally being serious. Not even kidding. He was not kidding. And I knew what he was talking about. But like the thing that I saw, and I had been jumping timelines a lot. I didn't actually know that. I wasn't listening to anyone talk about that. I was listening to tarot card readings, and like a lot of other stuff. But this was weird because I knew I was jumping timelines. And then I started hearing it on tarot card readings, and I was like, the dog like tells its head like, I mean, really, what? And I'd always, anyway, okay, so, yeah, jumping timelines. But that's what I got out of this thing, was that it was it was segments of time, because when you're taking mushrooms, I don't recommend that you do, and I don't condone doing it because it's illegal. However, if you do, or I'm just explaining my experience, that my experience was that these were timelines that this thing was on, like, I don't know how else to explain it. It was like an accordion of time, like folding on. It was, anyway, every single segment represented like a potential timeline, a potentiality in quantum mechanics. You know, a space-time potentiality. You know, what? And because of that, because I could see it, like I visually saw this, like I saw it. And he explained the same thing. He was not taking mushrooms at the time. And I've seen it since then. I saw it during the meteor shower that we had, the Perseus? No, not Perseus. It wasn't Perseus. I can't remember the name right now. But anyway, it was in August. So like the mid-August. Anyway, if I had not known better, I swear we were being invaded by aliens. I'm not even kidding. It was something to see. Really, like, wow. It was incredible. I mean, I saw one asteroid that looked like, I don't know if you've ever seen those videos on like Discovery Channel, whatever channel that is, where they simulate what moving at the speed of light would look like visually. And there's like blue and red shift, right? This was redshift, and it was so trippy. Like, it sped up the Earth or something. Oh my god, it was so weird. It was like being inside of an amoeba and seeing out, like looking out. That's what this was like. It was so weird. It was so weird. Okay, but it was so cool. It was really cool to see it. I mean, I saw probably like 5 or 6 events that night that were it was spectacular. So, but like talking about time that night, I was on the phone with somebody I know, and I was describing what I was seeing, like, you know, being very specific in the colors and what it looked like, the size of it, and how it was either skimming off the atmosphere or entering the atmosphere or outside of the atmosphere. You know, and I know what I'm looking at. And I know how to describe it properly, you know. But this, like, the thing that tripped me out the most was that I saw one event, and the person I was on the phone with was an hour away, like, by time zone standards, in Utah. And this person, I described what I was seeing, and then 20 minutes later, and not according to a clock, like we weren't looking at the phone. I wasn't. I don't know if he did, but I wasn't looking at the phone. But it was our perception of time. And we both perceived it to be approximately 20 minutes. True story. Like, and my time perception is pretty good. Even when I don't have a clock and no clock to look at and all that kind of thing, I can usually tell how much time has passed. Not always what time of day it is, just because in winter and summer, you know, it varies a little bit. But like, typically I know how much time has passed. My time perception's not bad. And but we both perceived it to be 20 minutes. Now, about 20 minutes after I saw this, he was describing the very same thing that I saw to the T. And I said, what? Like, when did you see that? And he said, just now. And then I didn't like jump up in the air, went right away. But the second event that he described, that I had seen, that I had described to him, he described it. And I said, when did you see that? He said, just now. And he wasn't describing the same thing. Wasn't using the same words. It wasn't the same colors all. He was just saying, oh my God, that was, you know, it was a huge one. Oh my God, there's another one. And that was why I kind of knew that he was seeing the same thing, but I wasn't seeing what he was seeing. And that's an astronomical event, so everybody should see it at the same fucking time. Like, not according to a clock, because all our clocks are going to be different. But there shouldn't be 20-minute delay from when my eyes see that light entering our atmosphere to when his eyes see it entering our atmosphere. What? Like, so I'm in Pacific Standard Time. He's in, what is that, General Mountain Time? Is that Mountain? Yeah, Mountain, Central, yeah, Eastern. Yeah, he's in Mountain Time. So an hour ahead of me. But 20 minutes. What? Like, how does that work? How does that work? Can anyone explain that to me? Now, I did ask probably one of the most brilliant people I know right now. I asked him to explain it to me. And he's got a brilliant mind. However, he said to me, like, without skipping a beat, and I thought it was the funniest thing, oh, that was a disruption in the space-time continuum. I'm like, are you joking? Like, are we on Star Trek or Star Wars? What's going on? What do you mean? Are you joking? Yeah, I'm serious. He was totally serious. So I looked it up. Anyway, I guess, you know, he's right about, like, most people do experience disruptions in space-time, but they don't often notice them, or certainly aren't usually able to remember it and explain it very well. But this is what happened to me and this other person I was on the phone with. Like, time was different. I'm not even kidding either. Like, it's not a weirdo thing. Like, it happened. It really happened. I couldn't prove it, but, like, at the same time, I know it happened. And anyway, that's another thing that's happened. I know time never existed. Like, that's not a thing, you know. That's not a big deal. And really, whether it does or not is of no consequence to me particularly. But, this difference in time, like 20 minutes difference, that one tripped me out. Like a solid 20 minutes. From the time I saw what I saw, to the time he saw what he saw. Like, no freaking way. You know, I mean, I've even thought, well, maybe he was lying to me. But I don't think he was. I don't think he is. I don't think so at all. I think he's telling the truth. But, like, how that works, I do not know. I just don't know. Anyway. Yeah. So, had fun. Maybe it'll be a little more, I didn't really try to concentrate this time. Oh, goodness sake. Yeah, maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? But I think that's all for now. It's just been so weird. Like, I really don't. There's still a huge part of me that is just, I wouldn't say in disbelief, but, like, yeah, kind of just waiting for, not, like, I don't know, waiting for what did I mean to say there? Like, waiting for, well, waiting for the next step, I guess. That's what, waiting for, yeah, waiting for the next step. Waiting for the next awakening was the word I heard. I'm not getting words either. I'm just feeling. That's interesting. Well, I keep getting that card. Okay, I can see that. Yikes. I keep getting this card too, and I don't know what it means. I mean, I know what it means, but I don't know what it means to me. I don't know. Anyway, house, prison, joyfulness, consolation, and merchant. Meaning merchant. I don't know what that means. I don't know any merchants per se. I don't know that I do. Misfortune, and at the bottom of the deck is... What does that say? I can barely see that. Falseness. And child. Doctor. Doctor was another one he kept pulling. I have no idea. I mean, I do, but I don't. Anyway. Huh. Anyway. I've got it. If that resonates with anyone. Maybe it's not me I'm pulling for, you know? Who knows? I don't know. I know I've had people pull for me and I don't... Anyway. They don't know they're pulling for me, you know? They're just reading cards. And, you know, but I'll listen to their reading and it's my reading. It's the weirdest thing. And that's been happening a lot lately. Like, a lot. So, anyway, Anyway. Alright. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I have to say right at the moment. Keep on trucking. Shit is weird. It's real, too. It's all real. I know it seems crazy, but it is. It is crazy, and it's all real, too. It's both. It's a fucking trip. Like, enjoy it, you know? Because it's a trip. Totally enjoy it. It's great. I think it's the best, really. Yeah. You know, stay blessed. You know, the definition of blessed is actually to be close to God. So, yeah, definitely stay blessed. Whether you believe that in a spiritual sense or a religious sense or something in between, you know, it's all good, really. You know, when your heart is in the right place and your intentions are in the right place, you will find your way. So, I'm not worried about that. Besides, the Bible does say that a cubit of worry never added a cubit to anyone's life. So, you know. Anyway, the wisdom is found in the application of not worrying. Yeah, don't worry. It's not good for you. It's not good for anyone. Shh, it's a secret. No, I'm kidding. It's not a secret at all. That's the beauty of it. That's what I find the beauty of everything is that of awakening. Like, and not that I've been asleep my whole life, but like, yeah, this is different. I have to say, like, really different in a lot of ways. But that thought just flew right out of my head. What I was gonna say. Just the sheer joy of it all is really something else. It's really beautiful. And to realize that joy can be sustained. Like, I mean bliss, like real bliss and real enlightenment, not drug-induced, not, you know, not just from being in love or whatever, like not, you know, not like that, like really sustained and maintained joy and bliss for such a long period of time. I don't think, you know, I don't know if, you know, I mean, this has been going on for me for about the last 8 or 9 months. Like, really. I feel like I've come down a couple times, but not really. not for long. And it didn't take me, more than like an hour maybe, or a couple hours to transmute whatever I was going through. Like really fast turnaround, really fast. And a lot of things that would have stopped me in my tracks, a couple years ago, I don't even think about that stuff anymore. It's just like, anyway, I'm sure that, I know I'm not even close to the only one. And, I wonder if people that are my age tend to be as passionate about being awake or waking up fully. I don't know. Like I said in the very beginning, I don't really talk to many people, so if you made it this far through the video, you're amazing. Of course you're amazing anyway. Duh. But, yeah. Love, blessings, and compassion to everyone, especially the assholes. They're being assholes because they're scared or hurt or both. So, as much as people suck, I try to remember why they suck, And I hope that other people are doing the same.